Welcome to momedaram. In this video, we will see what is inheritance in Java. The process of creating a child class from existing class is called as inheritance. The process of acquiring the properties of superclass into the subclass is called as inheritance. Inheritance is used to add the additional features to the existing classes. For every class in Java.lang.object class is the superclass. How we will achieve inheritance in Java means by using extends keyword. Here we are having a class superclass and it is having two properties int id and method 1. We have created a subclass extending superclass and this subclass having two properties. Here we are extending a subclass through superclass. That means the superclass two properties also available in the subclass. We are not able to see, but JVM how it treats, there will be two variables and two methods in the subclass, like that it will treat. So all the properties of or all the members of superclass will be inherited to the subclasses. It will happen or not, let us see. Constructors, static initialize blocks, instance initialize blocks of superclass will not be inherited to its subclass, but they are executed while creating an object to the subclass. That means in our example we are having superclass and it is having property id method and static initialization block and instance initialization block and constructors. When you extending this subclass through superclass, this id and method will be inherited. Static and initialize and constructors will not be inherited, but they will be executed while creating the constructor. When you run this program, first it will loads the superclass and it will checks in the superclass for static blocks are there. If it is there, it will execute static blocks. After that, if instance initialize blocks are there, that time that will be executed. And when we are creating object here subclass subbase is equals to new subclass we are using. So that means here default constructor will be there. By default, first statement of a default constructor is superof. That means superof means it will call the superclass default constructor. So when you run this program, it is given superclass. First it is executing static block, then it is executing instance block, then it is executing the constructor. So these properties are not inherited, that is fine. In classes we can define different types of members. That means public, private, protected and default members. So how whether they are all these four types of members will be inherited to its subclasses or not, now we'll see. Private members cannot be inherited to subclasses. That means if any class is having private methods, that methods is applicable only for that class. They cannot be inherited to its subclasses. Next, default methods. The default methods can be inherited to its subclasses within a package. Yes, if a class is having default methods, that can be inherited within a package. If you try to create subclass outside the package, that time it will not be visible. That means it will be applicable only within the package. Protector members can be inherited to any subclass, but usage of protector members is limited within a package. That means if a class is having protector members, that can be inherited to any of the subclass in any packages. If it is same package or different packages also, it won't bother, it will be inherited. But we cannot able to access the protected members outside the package. Next is public. Public members are inherited to all subclasses. Public members can be inherited and accessed any of outside the package or anywhere we can able to access. Let us see these four statements with the example. We have created a class A, and here we are having four members: ID, name, mobile number, email. So for testing purpose, what we are doing, we are making this ID as a default, name as private, mobile number as protected, email ID as public. This class A is belongs to the core package. So now let us create a subclass and we'll see. We have created a subclass B extending a class A within the same package. So this ID is a default, so we are able to access within the package. Here we are getting name as error. Why it is giving error means this name is private. That means private members are not inherited to its subclasses, and we cannot able to access the private members outside the class. Other members, default, protected and public, can be accessed outside the class within a package. We have created a class C extending a class A. That means we are creating a subclass from class A. That is this class A is belongs to core package, class C is belongs to Java 8 different package. If you see here, private members we cannot able to access outside the class. So we already see this one. This ID is default one. That means default members cannot be inherited to the its subclasses outside the package. So here default members are not inherited and we are not able to access. Now mobile number is protected. So protected members can be inherited to its subclasses anywhere in the same package or outside the package also they can be inherited. But the usage of the protected members is restricted to the outside the package. That is the reason we are not able to access this class A member of a protected member, and we are able to access this public methods within a package and outside the package also. As per the example, private members belongs to the same class, they cannot be inherited to the subclasses. Default members can be inherited to subclass within a package. Protected members will be inherited to any subclass. Usage of that methods will be limited within a package. Public members can be inherited to all its subclasses and we can able to access from anywhere. Now let us see what are the types of inheritance is available in Java. Single inheritance. If one class is extending by one class, then we can say that type of inheritance is called as single inheritance. We have a class A and here we are extending and we are creating subclass to the class A. This is called as single inheritance. That means one class is extending only one class. Multi-level inheritance. One class is extended by a class and that class is extended by the another class. This is called as multi-level inheritance. We have a superclass A and we are extending the class B extending class A. Now we are creating the subclass for this class B, that is class C extends class B. This type of inheritance we can say as multi-level inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. One class is extended by many classes. That type of inheritance we can say as hierarchical inheritance. That means we have a class A and we are creating a subclass class B by extending a class A, and class C by extending class A, class D by extending class A. That means one class is extended by many classes. Next is multiple inheritance. That means one class extended by more than one class. That type of inheritance we can say as multiple inheritance. We have class A and we have another class B, and we are creating a class C by extending more than one class. That means class C extending class A and class B. This type of inheritance we can say as multiple inheritance. But in our example we are getting error saying that class cannot extend multiple classes. So Java does not support multiple inheritance through classes. In many interviews we will get a common question saying that why Java does not support multiple inheritance, or they will ask is Java supports multiple inheritance. That time we can say Java does not support multiple inheritance through classes, and it supports multiple inheritance through interfaces. Let us see an example why Java does not support multiple inheritance through classes. We have created a class superclass 1, and this superclass 1 is having method 1, and here we are doing some what we are doing here, we are printing superclass 1. And we have created one more class, public class superclass 2, and this superclass 2 also having void method 1, and we are printing superclass 2. These superclass 1 and superclass 2 are having same methods. We have created a subclass multiple inheritance by extending superclass 2. And when you are creating object for multiple inheritance, and we are calling this method m1, when you execute this program we are able to see superclass 2. If we extend superclass 1, so now we have what we have changed, there's a same subclass extending the another superclass 1. And now let us execute this program. So here this program executes superclass 1. Now let us see if this class extending two classes, how it will be. Superclass 2, it is not supported through superclass 2 we have added, it is not supported. Consider a scenario if it is supported. When you run this program, JVM not sure whether it needs to call superclass 2 of method 1 or superclass 1 of method 1. So it is not sure. That means the JVM have some ambiguity here. It is not able to identify, or it is not able to decide which class method it needs to call. That is the reason Java does not support multiple inheritance through classes. Now let us see how we can able to achieve multiple inheritance through interfaces. We have created an interface 1, and it is having of method m1 method 1 of type default. And we have interface 2, and this interface 2 also having same signature of interface 1, and it is printing method 1 from interface 2. Now we are creating a interface 3 by extending interface 1 and interface 2. Interface can extend more than one interface. Here it is not giving any error. But you may ask a question, how when we are extending, how JVM will get to know it needs to call method 1 of interface 1 or method 1 of interface 2? For that purpose, what we have to do, we have to override that method inside the interface 3. We have to override that method inside the interface 3, and we explicitly have to specify which interface method it needs to call, whether it needs to call interface 1 method or interface 2 method. For that purpose, what we are doing, we have overridden that method 1, and we are calling here, we are specifying here. So we are saying call interface 2 method, like that we are saying. We have created a class 1, and it is implementing the interface 3. Now let us create object for this class 1, and let us execute this method m1. What it will execute, when you run this program, it is giving method 1 from interface 2. Method 1 from interface 2 it is giving. Why? We are explicitly mentioned here, call the interface 2 method, like that. If you wants to call, if you don't wants to call interface 2 method, and if you wants to call interface method 1, then you should mention interface 1 dot super dot method 1, and when you run this program, it will calls the method 1 from interface 1. This is how we can able to achieve the multiple inheritance in Java through interfaces. And the next type is hybrid inheritance. This hybrid inheritance is nothing but combination of multi-level and multiple inheritance. This hybrid inheritance also not supported in Java through classes. It can support through interfaces. This is all about inheritance in Java. Hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.